I guess I'm very humbled to be here before you this evening, and also quite a bit sad. Arlene really isn't going to come back, and I can't say that I could replace her in any way, but I do want to do my very best to honor her memory and her service to this town. This evening, before we start with our candidates, we're going to take a few minutes and listen to Mayor Drew, who's going to talk about some referendum items that are going to be on the ballot. So for about the next 5 or 6 or 8 minutes, please give him your attention, and then we'll get started. Mayor Drew?
Thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And congratulations, Jennifer. Thank you for your leadership here. And I, too, would like to recognize and remember Arlene, who I think would be overjoyed at the size of the crowd tonight. And this organization is as strong as it is, and is as viable as it is, and is as powerful as it is in many ways because of the years of work and dedication that she put into making the Westfield section of Middletown, really all of Middletown, a wonderful place to be. She was an extraordinary woman, and we certainly miss her. And thank you all for being here tonight. I'm here to discuss the 2 referenda that are coming up on the ballot this year. The first, and I'll mention a couple of brief points about each of them, and then I'd be happy to take any questions that anyone has. The first one is the referendum for the Mattabesett District infrastructure. Now, about a year ago, or exactly a year ago, on the November election, the voters of the city approved a $13 million buy-in fee to get into the Mattabesett District. And now we're at the point where we need to bond for the upgrade of our pump station and the lines that are going to be run underground to the Mattabesett District, so that the wastewater that's normally processed at the sewage treatment plant that we have at the cove in the river immediately to the east of Route 9 can actually be sent to the plant you can see from Route 9 in Cromwell. And the $37 million is comprised of a number. We've actually been through this with engineers a number of times, and Guy Russo, the Director of Water and Sewer for the city, is here, and he has some handouts that we can pass out this evening. And that's comprised essentially of building a new pump station at the site of the current fire training facility that we have down near the existing sewage treatment plant, the cost of disassembling that existing sewage treatment plant, and the cost of directional drilling between the wetlands to the west and the highway to the east. And that's going to run underneath the road in between. And there are going to be 2 lines that run either way. And what's going to essentially happen is we're going to use an incredibly high-tech procedure called directional drilling, where we're going to run 2 drills underground for nearly a mile. And then on the other end, they're actually going to connect the drills to the pipe. There's going to be a slurry in the line, and they're going to actually reverse the drill and bring the pipe through from the other side. The technology is amazing, and I still can't wrap my head quite around how it works. Just so everybody knows, if this does not pass, we will be under EPA and DEEP orders to build our own sewage treatment plant, which will cost in the neighborhood of $100 million. So this is an extraordinary bargain, so to speak, and I don't mean to say that in any kind of glib manner, but doing this will enable us to actually remove our sewage treatment plant, which will enable us to open our riverfront for economic development, which will grow our grand list and reduce the individual homeowner's property tax burden. So all in all, I believe this is a very solid investment for the city of Middletown. This has been, I would say, one of the most bipartisan things that's come before us. Every time a vote's come up, it's been universally supported by every single member of the Common Council, enthusiastically and without qualification. And I appreciate the bipartisan spirit with which they've all approached the issue. The second one is the referendum for the senior center at the former Eckersley Hall building. I believe the number on the ballot is going to be $4.62 million, Mr. Decker? $4.62 million, and that's for the renovation of the building there. One of the things that's important to note about this project is that the building committee is pursuing several significantly sized grants. And one of the things that my administration worked with the building committee on was achieving historic designation for the building, which opens up the potential for a number of other historic tax credits, which we can actually sell to corporations, and we can offset the cost of the project. So the building committee's worked very hard on that, and it will be nice for the seniors to have a building finally after 4 decades of being in Savona House. 2 other items of good news I'd just like to mention in terms of in terms of things going on in Middletown. Number one, today we announced the end of all the legal issues between the city and the Board of Ed. Those are done, and they are completed, and they're over, and we can move forward. And the second one is that we were notified today by the U.S. Army that we have been granted officially the Mile Lane Nike missile site. We are now the owners of that site, and we received a PDF copy of the deed by email, and we'll be receiving the actual deed to record in City Hall sometime next week, which means we're going to be able to build a regional fire training complex. And I want to thank Congresswoman DeLauro for expediting that. That process normally takes several years, and she helped us get it done in about 6 months. So I want to thank her because that was an extraordinary effort. It's not easy necessarily to deal with the United States Army, and we had it happen in record time. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has about the referenda, and I very much appreciate the opportunity to be here with this group tonight. And pardon me, I have a cold, so if I turn and cough, I'm not trying to be rude. I apologize. No questions? Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful evening.